Hello and good morning. Today, or actually, I'm going to start off by saying last week I had someone show me something that I've been trying to figure out how to do for a very long time, and I was so excited that I got to make a video about it as soon as I could. Uh, if this is more of a PC thing, it's not a Quest thing, uh, and more Pyomi than anything else. If you know anything about texturing and some of the effects, especially with Pyomi, there's something called matcaps. Matcaps are really fun. They add this kind of shiny effect on things. And one thing that has always been frustrating is you can't. I didn't know how to do a swap with it for them. You can't, like, if you were doing a texture swap, you could actually just animate when locked, and I think you can animate unlocked, and you just drag and drop the new texture in, or you have a different material. But if you are doing a different material, then you're going to have to do the animation for the intensity and the emissions and the replacement and the hue shift. You have to do that for every material as well, which makes it kind of complicated if you have like a whole mess of different madcaps. Anyway, if we were to make an animation where we just we're gonna call this madcap swap madcap madcap what? Assets animation madcap one. There we go. And if I was to do a recording of this and I put a new madcap in here, it actually would not record anything. Um, and that's an issue because you need to have some sort of keyframe here that an effect happened. Otherwise, this didn't make an animation. In fact, you can see that it's already still there. So, how do you fix this? Well, from what I was told, and I did test it out, you basically make an atlas for your madcaps. And I'll show you how to do that with GIMP really quick, but as a tip, it's best to try to keep things that are divisible by 100, or that can divide into 100. So I recommend 2, 4, or 5, because we're going to make a 2 by 2 grid, which would give you 4, a 4 by 4 grid, which would give you 16, or a 5 by 5, which would give you 25 different madcaps. You could technically, I gotta get right here, you could technically have a giant row that goes straight down, or a row of twos that go back and forth. But I tested that originally, and it got the resolution to get down pretty low, and it was kind of noticeable. So I don't know if that's more of a Unity thing or a GIMP setting that I didn't know about. But from what I could tell, it's better to try to do a grid system. So kind of a square is what we're going to do. So I'm going to grab a few matcaps here, some of the fun ones. I'm going to bring them into GIMP. I don't know if you have GIMP, or if you don't have GIMP, I recommend GIMP. It's super cool, super nice, and super free. Sorry, watching anime. GIMP. There we go. So that's a fun one. That's a good one. Another good one is the golds and the browns, or gold. We'll grab a gold and put that in there. And that latex kind of color is always nice. And that's perfect because it is a different size, so we can use that as an example on how to resize things. Oh, and this one's always fun too. It's a very nice glass look. I can see that some of these are different size, but I'm going to use this as our base size. And from here I can see in the bottom corner that this is 255 by 255. That's the canvas size. And if I also go to, I think it's image canvas size, that's the canvas size. Now we're going to do a 4 by 4, so I'm just going to double this. I'm going to pull out the calculator. And times 2, because my mind is kind of wonky today. And that's going to be our new canvas size. I clicked cancel, didn't I? I did. Told you I'm wonky today. Resize. Okay. Why is it not doing it? Canvas size. Resize. Okay. I'm also going to go to View, Show Grid, View, Snap to Grid, View, or is it? It's Image Configure Grid, and 5 by 2. This is going to be our grid size. I'm going to go to the Move tool, and I'm going to move each one of these around. Now this one didn't quite size up properly, so I'm going to have to scale it down. And because I have it snapped to grid, it'll snap right there. And I move it down. And then we have our last one right here. Resize it. And there you go. Now we have our atlas. I am going to export this as a new Matcap at. And it should be in here now. There it is. And I'm going to put this into our Matcap spot. And it doesn't look good right here, but if we go to tilling, this is why we want to keep it divisible by, or it can divide into 100, because we're going to make it 0.5 for both of them. And right now, that will put us into this coordinate. What we're going to do is we're going to do an offset. If we do an x value of 0.5, it'll go up here. A y value of 0.5 will go here. An x and y of 0 will be here. And x and y of 0.5 will be here. And we can animate that. That is something we can animate. If you were doing a 4 by 4, you would be 0.25. So it would be 0, 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75 would be up here, and vice versa. That would give you a 4 by 4 or 16 different matcaps. And if it was a 5 by 5, it would be 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and so on. Because once you get back to 1, 1 and 0 are the same position. So it would be 0, 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and vice versa, and every combination of that. So I keep going back to that. I'm sorry. So right now we have our nice little matcap there, and if I change the offset to 0.5, we are now at our gold, which is to the right, because it's the x value. If I do the y value, it'll be the up one, the green one. There it is. And if I do both of them, it'll be the corner one. And if I was to animate this, we'd have to lock it. And matcap 1. We put this at 0, 0. And of course, matcap 2, and so on. Three. There's our gold. And Matcap 4, which should be the corner one, which is what it's set to, so I need to actually just type in 0.5 again. Oop, there we go. So now we have our 4 different matcaps, and then you just make an animation. I'd probably make it an int matcap. And it would probably be better to like name it green, gold, um, leather, and something else, because right now it's just a number, and that might make it hard to figure out what is what. Matcap is equals 0. Inspector. Matcap equals 1. Whatever you set to the 0, 1 is going to be the default. If you turn it off, that'll be the default. Equals 2. And equals 3. So that is that part. And then we'd go to, of course, our descriptor. I just want to make sure I didn't misspell anything. Matcap. We're going to make a... I'm just going to duplicate this real quick. Matcap. Oh, 1. Matcap equals 0. 1, 2, and 3. This will be Matcap 2, Matcap 3, and Matcap 4. And I'm going to rename this to Matcap 1. 1, 2, and 3. Add a new sub menu here. And that should be all we need to do for that. So it should change to the 0 position right away, which is our leather right off the bat. Or is that the first animation that we did? I actually don't remember. Well, we'll find out. It should be fun. But again, this is a PC only effect. You could try to do it. I'll explain that in a moment. So if we go to Matcap 1, 2. Oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, we have a transition, so it actually shifts around. If we did our animation without the transition time, that's what's going on there. We can make it less obvious by increasing that quite a bit, or disabling it altogether. It won't look like our character's shifting around. Anyway, if you had a separate material altogether, you could technically do this for the quest. For example, if you separate the hands entirely to be their own material, then a Matcap will work for that. Or if you want, you could do it for the hair technically. So If the hair is a separate material, you could make an Matcap atlas there, and then you can swap the Matcaps for the hair. Anyway, let's try that again so it doesn't look as... Now it looks instantaneous, although that was a kind of cool effect. And yeah, so the whole point of this is Matcaps are cool. It gives kind of like this reflective look of things. And what it's actually doing is it's just kind of giving you the... It's kind of making it's a circular image, and it's kind of wrapping the edge of the circle around the mesh. And yeah, so that actually gives it like you can actually see the reflection of the glass in there. And the polished gold, that's always fun. And if I really wanted to, which I'm not, well, I will anyway. If I really wanted to, we could also increase all these. We could make these animations as well. The replace, the multiply, and the mix. This would not be optimized, but it is fun to do every now and then. Because if you do the screen, it does kind of a interesting effect to it. The multiply should make it darker. Yeah, it's more like a contrast. It makes the darkers dark and the brighters bright. Add will just make everything brighter. Mixing, but like the emission will make it glow, and that will make your character like bright, very bright. Also intensity also makes it glow quite a lot. You gotta be very careful with your intensity and emissions. They're kind of a multiplier effect. So if you have a lot of both, you're going to be blinding people when you're in VR chat, and you don't want that. So I often try to keep emissions low when I'm doing a Matcap. It also makes it so that it shows in the, or doesn't show in the darkness as much. The reason why you can't really do it well for Quest is you can't make a mask, so it would be the entire character, and that's why you gotta have a material that is specifically for the one thing you're trying to Matcap. But if you're trying to do the entire character, you can. It might come out weird, and that's why I was recommending maybe hair and tail and what have you, because there's not too much texture there. And then technically you could do a Matcap swap that way. But yeah, I was looking for this a long time ago, and I couldn't figure it out until someone randomly told me, and I was like, this needs to be out there somewhere. Somewhere on the internet, there needs to be a message saying, hey, this is how you do a Matcap swap. I guess in theory, it's also how you could do like a color swap if you want to just have like a whole bunch of different colors, like red, blue, green, yellow, and you could have that as a texture kind of thing where you just are moving the textures around. It would be a similar effect. It might actually work for Quest, but again, you don't have a mask, so it's not the best option when it comes to the entire character. Though, if you're doing like a simple character or low resolution, that would be a simple way to do kind of a texture or a hue shift. Although it would be more like a hue swap at that point, because a shift is more of a granular over time kind of thing, which would look more like well, I'll show you that real quick. If I go back to that green, because that one's fun. If we have a hue shift, you can actually, yeah, you could animate that as well, which is always fun. So then your green, you can make any color. Ooh, I'm sorry. I like the red. Red, right there. That's more of an orange. But it adds a lot of customization to your character, that's for sure. Anyway, that's about the end of the video. I'm just having fun now. I wonder what this... Oh. That's probably not going to do much for the hue shift. Yeah, it's just going to be about the rim. But yeah. Anyway,